Today we're going to pick up where we left off last time with this circuit board. If you haven't seen that video, it'll be down in the description and up there in the little corner there. But last time we were with this guy, this was adding the trans temp. We added the IC to the back and put the jumpers on and added the capacitor that goes here and programmed it for trans temp and just gave it a quick test with an S motor. I got my shipment of new inlays for these in. These come from China. I actually really don't like this inlay. I've used it before in the past, but it's the only thing I could find. They had a couple of other ones, but they were like weird colors. I think it was like red or blue for this. So I just went with the white. It's the only one I can find out there right now. So you just got to do what you got to do to add trans temp. These things look hideous with the stock lights in there, though. It comes out this really ugly, almost like yellowish color, and it's dim right here. But it's what's out there, so it's what I gotta use. I'll figure out something better for the backlight on this than using the stock setup. I really don't want to run strip lights behind it because those always look really tacky, especially when somebody comes in to work on it. But I'll see if I can get some LEDs in there that kind of, I'll probably just put some extra LEDs coming off over here pointing in those directions that are dim. But I'll figure that out in the end. We'll play that by ear. We're gonna start with just getting this trans temp going in here, putting that in there. So I'm going to use this cluster. I got it in the mail recently from a viewer. Sent me two to repair and take the mileage off of one and put it onto an Escalade one. And this was the one I'm taking it off of. And it had this kind of neat little thing he had bought off the internet. I hadn't seen these before, but basically what you do is you cut all of the thing out. I mean, I'd probably use a Dremel to do it, so that way it comes out a little bit cleaner. You don't have that jagged edge, and then this just tapes down. So they put some double-sided tape on the back and put it on there, and it gives it this nice little chrome look. And I actually like the way this looks. It's weird. It's not the standard kind of mod you see to it. It's definitely different, but I like that look. So I'm keeping this, and I am going to measure it in CAD and make a CAD file for this, so that way I can cut out more of them with my CNC machine. Uh, yeah, I'm totally just gonna rip off this design. I think it's neat, so I'm gonna save this. I'll use a different lens on here, so that way it comes out normal. And yeah, I have to find a better way of doing this. I don't know if you can. I've never tried to take the glass off. I don't know. Maybe comment down below if you've ever taken this lens off. If it's like a headlight where you can put it in the oven and then just peel it off. I really don't know. But that seems like that'd be the right way to do this, is to take this off and set that down on top of the plastic that was there before. So that way you don't have to trim it, because then you have but maybe you just trim it with a Dremel. I don't know. If anyone's ever used one of those before, comment down below and let me know what you think on this. So I know a lot of people, when they do, when they change, or not change those, when they change a motor on these, what they'll do is power it up, put a little piece of tape there, and mark it. It's really good for when you're first starting out and you don't really know where everything is. Once you do a lot of them, though, you start to recognize like where the rest point is, where it goes when it powers up. Like if you don't have anything set up on your oil pressure, it goes like that. But yeah, this one actually has really good motors in it. I mean, the temp is definitely loose, but the oil pressure, yeah, get that. I haven't seen one that good in a while. And the speedometer actually has some resistance to it. Yeah, the tach's really good. So I'm going to use this face. I'll inject some new oil into that one there. But yeah, let me get all these needles off real quick and do it. Obviously, we can't mark the inlay because we're changing the inlay out on here. Let's just take these off. Now, with these inlays, you take the little tabs off first, and they are actually, this is actually glued on, so they just peel right off. There you go, now it's off. To put the new one on, you first have to peel off this right here, but I stick these guys on first, so that way my hand's not sticking to it while I put them on. So you put all your little tabs back on there. And you just peel it off. And it has this little notch lines up with, and that notch there, and that one there. And you could put these on kind of like window tint, where you spray the back of it with the Windex or whatever. I don't do that. I just line them up with all the notches and put it on. I just have it barely setting on there. I haven't taped down. I'm going to off camera do the lineup. Okay, so yeah, I didn't record it because I have to look straight over it. I didn't want y'all staring at the top of my head the whole time I'm doing it. But got it on there. These things aren't cut perfectly. This is actually a little bit wobbly right here in the cut there. I don't know if it catches it on camera there. And the other thing is this alignment did not actually align correctly there with these, and actually having it centered over all of the holes like it's supposed to be. So there seems to be a little bit of imperfection in the way these are cut, but as long as we set the needles where they're supposed to be, it shouldn't give us any problems at all. And it is aligned down here and centered over all of the holes. The only one that's not completely centered is the fuel, but everything else is centered, so I'm pretty sure that's just drilled. The hole there's drilled wrong. But these are pretty cheap inlays right here, so I'm not expecting perfect out of it. Let's go ahead and add the S-type stepper motor to the trans temp spots. That way we now have a trans temp, and these should go in nice and gently. If you're putting too much pressure, you just got it backwards. They're supposed to only go in one way, but you can force it to go in the wrong way. Let's see. Yes, that's taking a lot of pressure, so let's rotate it around, and should go right in if I line it up. I'm not lined up on both sides. That one's still taking a lot of pressure. Let's see, I may have it backwards that time. There we go. Yeah, I had it backwards. I had it right the first time and backwards the second time. So there we go. And now we just need to slide the circuit board underneath it and power it up, and we can start putting all of our needles on, and then we'll be finished with the project of adding trans temp to a non-trans temp instrument cluster. Okay, so I plugged in the power, just showing you so that way you can see what I mean. It almost looks like there's a dead bulb here, but it's not. It's also dim there and there. So, like I said, these inlays just look absolutely terrible with the original lighting in them. I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do with these. I don't stock any of the LEDs that go in these types of sockets because I just haven't found a good one. If you have a good one that you like to use that have been working for you for a long time, comment down below, because I need to find some sort of LED for that. I've been getting a ton of requests on it, but not anything else. So let's start with putting the oil pressure one on here. So just ground out the oil pressure, and yeah, I guess I wasn't grounded out when I put it on there, so let's take that off and try again. I'll hold that on ground while I do it. That just ensures that I got a good connection. Alright, and that one's good. So that's one I always start with. It's really easy. So trans temp is about a needle width below 100, just like your fuel is a little over. On these, it's a little bit over a needle width. So these have a little bit thicker of a needle on there. I keep getting it right in the same spot. There we go. That looks about right. Trans temp, not trans temp, RPM goes right at the 0. Luckily, these air core motors aren't like stepper motors where if you start moving them, you can break them. Like, they'll just go back to where they're supposed to be. Alright. The miles per hour actually varies on what you have. If you have one of the 120 mile per hour ones and it's programmed for 120 miles an hour, it goes right to the 0 for its resting spot. And if it's programmed for 100 miles an hour, it rests just barely touching this bar. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So we're programmed for 100 miles an hour. So we'll just do it where it just barely touches it. There we go. Yep, so it's not pulling really hard on it, and yep, just barely touches it. Okay. Oh, that bulb's bad, but we're gonna replace all the bulbs anyways on this. Alright. Fuel is a needle width below E. Just a little bit over a needle width. When I'm done, I always compare these to a working one too, because these fuel ones are always tricky to get lined up just right. So the voltmeter on these is actually reading what the voltage is coming into this, unlike the 2003 and up. So let me turn that up to 14 volts, so that way I can set it to 14 volts. All right. There we go, 14 volts. And then the trans temp is, I mean, not trans temp, the water temperature is just at 0. Alright, so, yep. I probably should have oiled that one. The rest of these are pretty good. That one's a little bit jumpy too. We'll test it out in a vehicle and see. I actually drive one of these trucks, so I can go take it for a test drive. So this is now a complete project, but I'm not going to wrap up the video here. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for the LEDs in this, and then I will wrap up the video explaining that. But I got to figure something out for that, because these aren't something I normally do LEDs in, but I already knew I don't like this inlay. At night, it's not quite that bad, but during the day, I mean, that's just dim right there, and this is really dim over here. So okay, so let's take a look at it with the lights in there and see what y'all think. So we're still pretty bright right here and a little bit dim right there, but this is a whole lot better than with the stock bulbs in there. And it is just a hair dim there, but it looks worse on camera than it does in person. It's really only at the 100 where it starts to get dim to the visible eye on here. It's about the same brightness as that 50 is there. But I think just that angle on the camera makes it look a little bit darker here at the edges. But hey, I'm not terribly happy with the way the lights came out on here, but it's the best I can get out of this particular inlay that comes from China. So that's really going to be it on this. And oh, to just show what I did do. Just because I don't have a good bulb that I use in these, and I wanted to tilt a bulb this way and tilt this bulb going that way, I just soldered in the ones that I normally use, and I used 2 of them there and have one tilted up there. I could probably get that spot lit up better if I put another one and tilted it, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I think it's good enough for what we're dealing with here anyway. So yeah, I just soldered in the bulbs that I normally use, so that way I didn't have to deal with doing a warranty repair if I use the cheap bulbs that I know of that work it. I mean, yeah, I just don't like any of the sockets so far. The the sockets themselves that you get for them are not very good. They don't line up very good. So then the sockets will cause flicker, and then most of the bulbs that I've found are just really cheap and don't work right. I mean, if you get like Phillips bulbs, they're great, but I mean, you'd be looking at like $60 worth of bulbs in here to do that. So haven't gone that route, but yeah, that wraps up this project here. It's done. So I'll probably list this for sale on Facebook Marketplace to get rid of it. Um, I have 20 more of the motor drivers that go in there. So I've heard people are having problems getting them from China. I heard that the UT source keeps telling people they're out of them, but I don't know. I just got these last week, so I don't think they're actually out of them. But if y'all are having a hard time, like I said, I will sell them if you want to buy them from me instead of getting them shipped from China. They they cost me like five. What was it? I'd have to go look again. I think it's $4 or $5 each. So I'd probably sell them for 10 or 15. That including shipping on there. So depending on how many you want. Like if you just wanted one, I'd probably sell one for I think either 15 or $20. And shipping included, so you don't have to pay more shipping on it. And all what you need is this. You need this chip here. You need that capacitor that I showed you in the beginning, and you need to program it. And then the air core motor that goes there is an S marked one, so it's the same one as the RPM or the mile power. You could use either of these two motors for your trans temp there. So that's all you got to do to make one of these into a trans temp cluster. It is a lot of work, but these trans temp clusters sell well, so I think it's worth the effort to making them into a trans temp one. And just like with the 0304s and ups, when you have the trans temp on there, it just plugs in place. So there's nothing special you have to do to the truck after you do that. So that's done there. And then yeah, so I got more of these chips in. I've been working on the '05 and up instrument cluster. So this one's a 2005 right here. I've been working on getting the firmware off of it. It actually has a JTAG port. This is a U-Link. I don't have a license for MDK5 or the Clean 5, whatever, however you say it. The German company. That license is expensive. I don't have the license, so I can't use this. That was a mistake buying that. But I have a MIM tool, or sorry, it's called a Mini Wiggler. They're made by Infineon, coming in the mail to do that. I haven't made any more progress recently on the 0304 where it's done over UART. I ordered a logic analyzer to come in and take a look and see what exactly is going on there. So I'll have updates to those videos probably next week. I should get that MIM tool next week, and I should be getting that the logic analyzer on the 2nd of September. So those projects will get updates here soon, and that's really it that I got going on. Oh, I do have a video I already recorded. I just haven't uploaded it yet. I did a product review of a Arduino kit, so you should expect that within the week. And I ordered a bunch of starter kits that I made myself from China. That are it's a STM32 starter kit, so that way you can learn how to do STM32. I'm going to make a guide to go with it, and I was thinking about teaching a local class on it, but school's starting back up right now, so I think I'll wait till the holidays to teach a local class on getting started with STM32, and I'll probably just sell these ones that I got. They cost me $30 to get them from China, so I'll probably be selling them for like $50 or $60 and that's going to come with my guide. I have to make the guide. It's really going to be kind of a ripoff of the Arduino guide, but just with any of the STM32 specific things you got to do. Everything's going to be in Arduino IDE, so that way it's super easy to learn. Um, Anything other than Arduino IDE is past my knowledge. I really wanted to make these kits as something local, just to get some kids interested in this kind of stuff, because we don't really have very many good local programs over here. But I say it was kind of an impulse buy when they were like, yes, we can make that kit for you. So I bought 5 of them, like, yes, I'm going to do this class and do it. But now I'm sitting back going, well, this is the wrong time of the year to be doing the class, because here in Florida it's hot, so I can't do it outside. And I can't really social distance here in my workshop to do. Even if I did like a class of 2, we really couldn't properly social distance in here. So I think I'm just gonna sell the kits that I bought. Hopefully there's some interest from you guys. I don't know. Maybe I'll just sell them on eBay, get my money back out of them. I'll buy the kits again in the future, because there was also something I wanted to include in the kit and I forgot to. I want to put these power supply PCBs in there, and I didn't. So I want to tweak it for the final kit for the class, because I think the average person that works in electronics would probably have something already that can do the 3.3 volt and 5 volt, but these kids starting out won't. So I need to have that for the class. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Sorry I rambled on, just kind of giving y'all updates on the channel here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.